My name is Sahira, and I'm here to teach you the beautiful art of belly dance. Howdy folks, in today's video I am going to take you on a layering journey where we are going to play with texture on our tried and true horizontal figure eight, a belly dance 101 move that we all know and love, but today we're going to take it to a place you may have never taken it before. This stylization with the figure eight can be used for many different types of belly dance. I particularly like it with more sort of Shaabi or ballady style music that's a little bit more earthy and grounded and funky. And so let's go ahead and check out this layering of the figure eight. All right, so we're going to start with our basic figure eight. Feet right underneath us, knees are slightly soft, pelvis slightly tucked, nice long spine, chest is lifted, arms are out in our second position. And we're going to be going front to back today. So the Belly Dance 101 figure eight that I like to teach my students is very horizontal, very much controlled here by the obliques and the hips. The knees and the feet are fairly quiet, not much going on there. We're thinking of twisting front, pushing, scooping to the back on each side, coming through at an angle. Yeah. So here we go. Belly Dance 101 figure eight. What I'd like you to do now to add texture and to layer onto this is that we're going to widen the stance a little bit. So go ahead and widen your stance. And when you start to widen your stance, I want you to allow yourself to shift your weight a little bit, right? So now I'm taking my weight over to the right, over to the left. And when my weight shifts, it shifts almost completely, which leaves my other foot unweighted. And if you find a little bit of movement happens in that unweighted foot, so be it. You might find that it twists or turns just a little bit. That works. It's going to stay on the ground for the most part, but because there's no weight on it, the angle might shift a little bit. So now maybe your figure eight gets a little bit bigger, a little bit gooier. Yeah. So now I'd like you to go ahead and let those knees be a little bit softer, right? So previously the knees were soft, but not really bending and straightening with the movement. So now I want you to allow those knees to bend and straighten almost as though we're dancing on like a squishy floor, right? There's a little bit of gooiness under our feet. And we're allowing those hips to push, the feet to release. Because my feet are releasing, you might find that your hip movement becomes a little bit bigger because you're not as stuck to the floor. The more we can kind of release ourselves from the floor and play, the bigger and gooier our movements can be. Okay, so now adding on. As I do this, if I show you from the side, I'm keeping that transition through the middle fairly centered, and I think about my movement as being fairly even front to back. Now I'd like you to push it a little bit to the forward range, right? So I think I'm kind of pushing my pelvis slightly forward, always keeping a nice long spine, no compression in the lower back, slight push forward with that pelvis so that I'm presenting slightly more frontward with this tiny little difference, but it looks a little bit different. I'm going to take it back to the mirror. Here's right underneath me, a little bit more elegant, maybe a little bit more sort of oriental style. And now I'm pushing it forward and allowing my pelvis to lead just a little bit more, has a little bit more forward attitude. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. Now, next layer, here we go. We're going to add a jewel onto this. You can add whatever kind of jewel you like. For me, what I'm going to be adding, which jewel I'm adding today, is a twist in, right? So I'm thinking twist back on the weighted foot, tuck in with the pelvis. That in pulls my hips behind me. So not in here, but in here. So I'm tucking with the pelvis, but that tuck is pulling my hips behind. So once again, figure eight, twist in, figure eight, twist in. You might find that little twist in kind of lifts that other hip as well. That's fine. If it doesn't, that's also fine. Yeah, figure eight, twist, tuck, figure eight, twist, tuck, or you can think figure eight, twist, pull, figure eight, twist, pull. Remember, push it to the front, pull it to the back, push it to the front, pull it to the back. Feet are nice and wide. All right. A couple more of these, and then I'm going to add our final layer. There's one more little texture we're going to put in here. Figure eight, twist, pull, figure eight, twist, pull. The last little layer we're going to put on is an undulation. I want you to think up, roll down, or maybe even up and down in the chest. So you can think of this as a chest lift and drop, really big, fat, juicy chest lift and drop. Or if you get a little bit more sort of stomach isolation in there, you can think of it as having a roll through as you do this figure eight. How does that work, right? So figure eight, I'm going to think lift, drop, lift, drop. So I'm lifting as I push through the center, dropping as I'm releasing on the side. So I feel like if I do it this way, if I lift through the center as I'm pushing forward and drop with the chest as I'm coming to the side and twisting, it almost feels like I'm Opening, closing, open, close, open, close. Everything's open and forward, and then closes underneath me. Open, close, open, close. And then you see, oh my gosh, what's happening? My foot is releasing because of all of this closure that's happening. That's an optional little element there that might happen as you begin to add all of these pieces in. Open, close, or chest lift, roll down. Chest lift, roll down. Chest lift, roll down. One more and pause. How is that going? All right, so go ahead and tie on your hip scarf and take a deep breath. Let's go ahead and drill that movement with music. 5, 6, 7, 8. Basic figure 8. Good, widen the stance. Add that jewel. Twist in, twist in. Slow it down. Figure 8. Twist in. Good, couple more nice and slow. Add that little pelvic push. Little push forward. Speed it up. Don't forget to breathe. Try to keep the arms fairly quiet. Slow it down. Pelvic push, jewel. Chest. Up, down. Up, down. Take nice deep breaths. Let's speed it up. Here we go. Up, roll down. Up, roll down. Up, roll down. Up, roll down. We got all the pieces here. Let's slow it down. Speed it up. Feel free to take out any of the elements if you would like at any point. Slow it back down. Speed it up. Back to just a basic wide stance figure 8. Add that undulation.